Okay.
This is what the founding fathers really wanted.
So, everyone, did you hear about Trump? What do you guys think about Trump?
He said the bad, nasty, bad words. He's a bad, nasty, bad man. I can't believe this threat to our democracy is allowed to go unassassinated.
Grandpa comes in. Everything Trump does is great. I love Trump. I wish I was married to Trump instead of my stupid wife. Your your blue-haired cousin comes in.
Smelling of pot and cigarettes and liposuction.
I was at the protest the other day, and a girl. When we heard the news, my friend literally had a mental breakdown. This is Trump's America.
She threw up everywhere.
She threw up all over her plaid denim pants.
And the baklava.
Her
No.
parents had just barely bought those pants. They cost $1,500. This is what Trump does to people.
This is
Trump is
extremely
hurting the
dangerous for
little
our
people.
democracy.
This is I saw on the news they talked about Trump and how dangerous he is to our democracy.
Hmm. Yeah. Why does that always happen? Like
What?
the political fight.
Oh.
It's always
Uh
the same uncle too that starts it.
your uncle comes in. Hey, Trump's running again. Who's gonna vote for Trump? Yeah. Actually, I don't have any uncles who are really like that. I'm kind of that guy in my family.
Hmm.
So we had that a little bit.
Oh, you're the uncle.
Well, I'm not an uncle yet. I don't expect to be for a while yet. I don't think any of my siblings will be for a while either. Uh,
Oof.
but I kind of fill that role in my family. Actually, no, I didn't. I didn't do it this time. When I argued with my cousin a little bit this year. He's like a philosophy major or something, and
Oh,
no, I didn't bring up politics, but other people bring it up, and then if people are talking about it, obviously I'm going to jump in. I can't just sit there quietly. I can't just keep my mouth shut. I always join the fight. Um, well, when people say stuff that when people say retarded stuff, it's hard for me to keep my mouth shut, especially if they're impressionable people who are going to believe them around us. Um, what was it about? Um, Twitter. Yeah. Oh yeah. So we're probably Twitter is the only interesting thing that happened this week other than Thanksgiving. So we'll probably do that. But we got into debate about freedom of speech on the internet, and that's long enough. Okay, you guys have had enough time to take in the beautiful thumbnail.
it is. It does look good.
Now I have this going. I I just noticed the snow. I didn't notice that before. That's really good. Um, by the falling snow, I mean obviously I noticed the sitting snow. Anyway, um, he was talking about uh, is it okay to not have any restrictions on um, a social platform on the internet? And I'm obviously more in the camp that says yes, there should be no restrictions at all.
I can't believe that like this is even a question for people though. It's like it's there's nothing good about restricting what people can say. It's like, oh, if they make death threats or hate speech, and that's just call him a dumb fuck. You know?
Which you'd go as far as saying even death threats or
Yeah,
like inciting violence shouldn't be among the things considered.
yeah. Well,
What if?
even if I mean they can try, but that's what the Second Amendment is for. Like you can say whatever you want, but once you try something and you actually threaten somebody, you'll have to deal with Mr. Smith and Mr. Wesson.
I mean,
I
well,
mean,
for
you
for
can
me,
do it
I
behind closed, like you can do it behind closed doors anyway. You can just say, hey.
I usually concede on the inciting violence argument. Um,
But how
but I mean,
it's
if I
still
think
on
about it,
them to act, you
if I'm
know?
gonna if I'm gonna be devil's advocate, because I mean I'm still kind of dubious about it. It's usually the other person who says, "Oh, what if they incite violence?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I guess that's one thing." What if they yell fire in a crowded theater? Um, it, I don't know. They seem to be doing kind of death by a thousand cuts on the First Amendment, though. Um, but if I was to be devil's advocate for it, uh, I guess there are sometimes influential people on the internet, and if they say you should all go and attack this guy's house, and then people do it, then that would be something you could be legally prosecuted for. Which I,
Yeah, but then what people are saying though is that they want forward censorship, not punishment after the fact. So it's like if you know,
that's a good
so
point.
like say you do yell fire in a crowded theater, which you actually are allowed to do. It's just if you know,
That's just a hypothetical question people bring up.
yeah. So it's like what they would be advocating for would be like not being allowed to yell fire ever.
You're right. Yeah, it's kind of
I mean, there would be
preventative
a
rather than a
reason to.
punishment. You can't yell
Yeah,
fire in a crowded theater, or well, I mean, yeah, you can. But if we're saying that, if that was the case, um, what would make sense would be for that person to have a legal repercussion. So obviously they can do it, but then they get arrested for it. So people probably won't do it, knowing that that is hanging over their head. Um, but on Twitter and Facebook and stuff, it's more like you go into the theater and they give everybody a ball gag just in case they happen to decide to yell fire in the theater.
right. And if you voted for the wrong person, they'll give you a ball gag.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you can say it. You can say it in the first place, but they can, ban you from Twitter for it. Though I don't know if it's illegal, then should it also be bannable on the internet? I think that's the premise Gab uses. It's like if it's illegal under United States law, then you can't do it, but everything else is free game.
I like how a lot of people have been flocking to Mastodon
Have they?
because this is Elon Musk's attack on democracy or whatever, right?
Go make
But
your
then,
go make your own platform.
but Mastodon like is even more censorship heavy than Twitter is. Like people have been
Is
banned
it?
for saying like, oh, well, like kill white people or whatever, and then they'll get banned for that, and they're like, what? Because they have to follow German law.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's German.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's obviously going to be worse. Have like conservative right leaning people been going to Macedon?
No, no, it's left wing people
Oh,
because of
okay. Well,
Elon Musk's
that's what they
attack
want,
on
isn't
Twitter.
it? They'll get what they want. They want censorship. They
Yeah, but
want
they want
the
to be able
feelings
to.
of trans people to be protected.
Well, they want special treatment too.
Well, all right. Um, I'm scrolling through Kanye's Twitter. He posted a bunch of stuff for his presidential run.
You think he'll make any progress?
He won't get very far, but he will piss a lot of people off, so that's always good.
Think he'll do better than, say, Ted Cruz or whatever? I'd say he has more. So,
well, if he
the thing is,
runs
I think
independent,
the more
then
attention you have on yourself, then the better you're gonna do. Like, the
yeah,
more waves you can make, it's
yeah.
just better for you.
Um, I haven't. I don't think an independent person has ever gotten a significant amount of the vote in a presidential race, though. Like there's that one guy. What was his name? The weed guy. A few years ago, I think it was in 2016. Gary something. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
He didn't know. Someone asked him about Aleppo at the time, and he didn't know what it was. I bet if I just search Aleppo Gary, it'll come up.
I
Gary
don't know what
Gary
an Aleppo is.
Gary Johnson. Now, what is an Aleppo? Um, he was somewhat popular in 2016, but he didn't get a significant enough. He didn't get enough favor in polls that they would allow him to join the debate. Which you have to get. You have to get something like. Uh, what do you need to get? I can't remember. You have to get a certain small percentage. Oh, we got someone in the comments. Find yourself a hot girl. Thank you, sir. We always need more of those.
Oh, good.
You got your laptop.
Yeah. Jesus messages.
Yeah, you need a certain percentage to be included in the debate, and he didn't reach that, even though he had a fairly decent following. I'd be very skeptical of Kanye getting anywhere significant, but who knows? Maybe the great eye of Slash Poll will fall on him since he's red pilled about you know who, and he's. I don't think he said who his running mate was yet. He apparently asked Trump to be his running mate.
Funny.
Oh, hey, Cardio Bull. I assume Trump gave him one of his good old reality TV lines for that. But he had this dinner with Trump and Nick Fuentes and somebody else, and I sure wish I was there. I assume probably Nick Fuentes or Milo Yiannopoulos are probably one of them is who's going to be his VP.
Really? Milo, huh?
That would be cool. A gay man and a black man as our president and vice president. That would be the most progressive thing ever. We have to break the glass ceiling, guys.
That'd be very progresso soup. I don't know. Milo's been butthurt, I guess, since being canceled. I don't know why. I guess he's like, oh,
About who?
people didn't defend me well enough.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, obviously, he still wants attention, though. Here.
Well, yeah, he's a grifter and wants money, so.
Here, let me switch to the game now. So, this is a school project that I'm working on. It's only partly in progress right now, but this is the demo version. So I try to bounce this off walls to hit them. He's a little bit too far away though.
So is this maze generated?
No, I made it. That would be
Okay.
cool to auto-generate it though.
Because I played this a little bit, and I thought it was like a backrooms thing where it just went forever, and
Oh no,
algorithm made the rooms.
no, it's limited. That would be cool though. I'm interested in thinking of ways to write that. Oh, also, I'm very proud of this, so I'm going to brag about it. I figured out the math for having it bounce off walls without looking it up. I was perfectly aware that it's something that you could Google and the answer would probably be right there. But I'm too proud to do that, and I did it all by myself. It took a little while as
Um,
well.
you got the surface normal of the impacted
Yep.
geometry.
Got
Yeah,
the surface normal and the angle of the projectile.
and then what would you do? Do you get the unit vector of the surface normal and then multiply that by the direction that it's going?
Tell me what a unit vector is again.
The unit vector always adds to 1. So you could
Oh,
have x, y,
the
z, and then
the
z could be
normalized
0 and x, y would
vector.
be 1/2. Yeah. Engineering terms.
Yeah, I had forgotten what that was. I think I have heard it in the past.
Yeah.
To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to play this game.
Yeah. It's like a paintball, dodgeball, maze dodgeball.
I realized after thinking of the idea that it's kind of similar to what it's kind of similar to that tank game on the Wii. Did you ever play that?
No.
It's a really cool game. My dad actually, who never plays any video games, got obsessed with it, and he was way better at it than any of us. Oh,
Is it is it like a demo? Or is it
no,
like a full game?
it was on Wii Play, so it's a small game, um, and you're a tank, and you can shoot pellets that bounce off a wall once, and you have various enemy tanks that can bounce various times. Some of them can bounce 3 times. Some of them can't move, but they can bounce more times. Some of them can't bounce at all, but they can move. Some of them are invisible. That's a really cool game. And I think if I made this into, like, if I tried to make money off of this, people would just be like, oh, you just ripped off the Wii Play Tank game. But doesn't matter as long as you don't get sued and if you get enough people to buy it.
Well, Nintendo never sues anyone. They would never. Let's see. Cardia Bull has something to say. He
Oh,
says,
yeah,
I
he was,
feel like DeSantis would be a better than Trump candidate or president, probably.
a lot of people think so, yeah.
Yes.
I think probably Trump will still have the most attention. Whether you like one or the other more. I mean, DeSantis seems fine to me. I do like that Trump is sort of outside of the. He's not a career politician. So he has free
Yeah.
reign to break their toys without any repercussions, other than,
Being assassinated.
other than being character assassinated and maybe physically assassinated.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel
What were
like
we
if
talking about
he
before
went
that?
to Epstein's Island, he probably would have been revealed by now.
Maybe, but in order for other people to get out unscathed, they had to really bury that one. If enough came out that Trump would be, you know, what's the proper word for it? If and there was enough evidence to condemn him.
I mean, they really
Probably.
wanted him out, though, so
Yeah, but for that to happen, there would be a whole bunch of other billionaires getting screwed over as well. Well, not screwed
Right.
over, getting repercussions for raping young girls and boys.
Well, I mean, one argument I've heard is that, like, maybe it's like, oh, the girl says she's 18, but then it's like, I'm actually 16, or whatever.
Before they
We've
shipped her off
entrapped
to his
you.
island.
No, like, so they'll have the girl on the island. Well, it doesn't look good because the castle on the island appears like anyone with any brain would look at that and look at the bar on the outside and the mattresses on the floor and think, this doesn't look good. But if okay, you could try to. I'm gonna try to play devil's advocate, but it's like, hey, what if these girls, they tell them to say that they're 18 even though they're 16, and then they record them and whatever. It's like they can blackmail you with that, whatever, right?
Okay.
I could see that, but it's also like, yeah.
Oh, to get.
I mean, I also don't care
to blackmail a billionaire or whatever.
Yeah,
I suppose so, but there's also all of these people in government are sexual deviants. A whole lot of them.
yeah.
Who was the one who I was talking about? Hold on, I gotta move myself somewhere sort of safe-ish. I'll go right here. Probably gonna die. One of the recently elected senators, maybe, or is he a congressman? Somebody in, or House of Reps. Madison Cawthorn. Oh, he's a rep. Yeah. Was saying that he was invited to participate in some kind of like orgy cocaine party by other members of Congress.
Yeah.
And he got a bunch of important people mad at him, so I'm assuming that it was true, and it's kind of something that I already would have easily believed anyway. I think a lot of them are doing that kind of stuff, and I don't have delusions about Trump either. He obviously there was questionable consent about a lot of his sexual endeavors, and he would go into the dressing room where like the models were changing on one of his reality shows.
Right.
And he cheated on both of his wives a whole bunch. Which that's horrible, obviously, but I mean, that's kind of the norm among billionaires and politicians. So if other politicians are saying, "Oh, he can't be elected to government after doing all these things," it's like I'd like a whole bunch of other people out of the government as well, if that's the standard that if that's your standard.
Well, I still hold the belief that an AI would make a pretty good government body. Just an AI that
experience would tell us that when they train an AI with a whole bunch of information, it starts having correct opinions about political matters.
Yes, well, that's if it's exposed to the internet.
Yeah.
But if you, I don't know, if you could try to turn certain things into a game or an algorithm, and then it could train itself to get good at that. But I'm sure things are far more complex than that, because otherwise, we'd see AI that are predicting the stock market and that sort of thing. But
this is the most kills I've ever gotten. Yeah, that'd be.
This blue pill is killing the red pills.
That'd be pretty crazy. Oh yeah. That was not in my head when I made this, but now I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna change the whole concept of the game.
You're shooting a blob of soy at them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm shooting.
And then they're using bullets like idiots.
Yeah, these red pills are using bullets, like the chuds they are, and I'm using I don't know, facts and logic. I'm using I don't know.
The Soylent.
I'm using Soylent.
Drink my Soylent.
Einstein got arrested for pedophilia? Wait, what?
I mean, he was a deviant he cross-dressed and stuff.
Does Soylent have soy in it? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a shitload of soy in it. Ah, damn it.
Soy protein isolate. Yep. Um, Einstein RS pedo file.
Einstein was quoted as saying, "It's not pedophilia, it's ephebophilia." However you say that.
Albert Einstein, high school teacher accused of sexually abusing female students. No,
He was a high school teacher?
no, that's Einstein, high school teacher.
Oh, okay.
Albert
did he
Einstein High School in Kensington.
did
Okay.
he reread the did he read that article and get mixed up?
Ben Shapiro versus Sam Hyde. I think Sam
Okay.
Hyde would win that fight.
Nah.
Or
Ben
debate.
Shapiro Ben Shapiro that debate. Who would win in a Ben Shapiro versus Sam Hyde debate? That's the question. Because Sam Hyde has alpha energy. Ben Shapiro would be sitting there trying to talk at 100 words per minute. Wait, no.
Yeah, it'd
Trying
be
to
a
talk at
little
a
bit
thousand
like the
words per minute.
Republican, you know, the
Sam Hyde,
Republican
Sam Hyde would
debates, because
just be
it's just
like,
he'd just talk over them, and
Sam Hyde would just be like, "Hey, shut up!" And Ben Shapiro would sit there and piss his pants and stop talking.
he'll say, "I'll eat your family if you don't shut up."
I don't think that that's appropriate for this occasion. Shut up! Pisses his pants.
His little hat will fall off.
His hat falls off.
Is that hat just to cover up bald spots?
Probably. It's because
Because
their genes are so bad they have to cover up their bald spots all the time.
that's
they just
what
made
it looks
mandatory.
like. It was made for.
Everybody.
Like it's a little spot.
A few
It's like
guys.
a little pasty.
A few guys started wearing it because of their bald spot, and then they were embarrassed, so they made it like part of their culture, as they often
Although
do.
if you had a nipple right on top of your head, right there, that'd also cover it up.
That would, yeah, that's true.
You could drink the head nipple.
You could drink the head nipple.
Yeah,
Drink,
but
from
only
my
from
head
the back. It's not for feeding babies. It's for, I don't know. They'd have to be standing behind you or whatever. I don't know. See, now this is the schizo talk hour.
It always has been. At least we have our limits, though. We don't get into like reptilians and aliens and all that bullshit.
They discovered a new deadly COVID variant, XB.
Oh damn! Now we're all gonna have to go get our booster, aren't we?
Yeah, get your booster shot.
Come on, get your booster.
And wear
there are a
your
lot of Americans that don't
maskerinos.
have their booster.
That was the worst though. Wearing a mask at work because it's like it's hot out. Well, most workers just didn't wear them. You'd have like one foreman who would be really liberal and get upset if you didn't wear your mask. Then everyone else would just ignore him. Those were good times.
Oh, were you going to make a guess at what the equation is for bouncing something, for changing an angle on an impact? At least on, this is only one axis, obviously, but I assume the equation would be basically the same, just for two or three. Two axes or three? Would you need to do the roll as well? If you were doing this for a 3D game. Oh! It took me like 2 or 3 hours to get it right. I had a whole bunch of postulates that were wrong before I found the correct one.
Well, I'm not super familiar with Unity.
No,
it's
not.
I assume what you do is
Unity.
You get the surface normal, and then
it would be the same
multiply
regardless.
the vector of your current velocity in 3D space multiplied by that normal vector that's, or the unit direct, I just used the term, the unit vector of that normal face that it's impacting.
You multiply them?
Yeah, so you multiply the vector 3 of the vector 3 of the normal. You could get the unit of that normal by dividing the magnitude of the
vector by all three
yeah.
axes. I assume
Yes,
that's how they do it.
although I think normal vectors are usually already unit form, but
Well,
because
what it
there's
gives
usually
you,
no magnitude in.
I had to get the normal and then interpret the angle from the normal, or just the yaw, obviously the horizontal axis. But it gave me an angle. So I'm working with my character's horizontal angle and the horizontal angle of the normal of the face that the frisbee collides with. It's supposed to be a frisbee. Multiplying them, I don't think would do anything. I never tried that, but I think that would just give you basically a random number.
Well, not.
I'll,
You have to multiply the individual elements by each other. So, if you imagine a one-dimensional space, if you have a ball that's going to the left, so it's got -3 speed or whatever, -3 meters per second, and then it hits a wall, the normal vector would be +1. So if you multiply that, you'd get the new velocity of 3. That's my thinking, at least. But the way you did it might be faster. I don't know. I don't know how
I'd
you
have to try
got
that.
the angle.
I didn't quite follow that, but I never tried any kind of multiplication, so I don't know for a fact that it wouldn't work. What I had to do eventually, or what I eventually figured out, if you have two angles, and one's the direction, you have your angle of your projectile and your angle of the normal of the wall. You get the angle of the ricochet by saying angle of the wall minus 180 plus the angle of the wall minus the angle of the projectile, which you can simplify that equation, but that's the more intuitive version of the equation. So I believe it's a plus and minus problem. I don't know that multiplying would give you the any correct
Interesting.
number.
Well,
but
we
maybe there's
had
another way of
different
doing
education forms.
I believe that would
So,
be.
I mean, a lot of my classes just involved like vectors. So I
Yeah,
tend
you
to
could have learned.
gravitate towards vector math.
I don't know.
But
I'll have to test. I'll have to test if you can do anything with that method or a similar method. There were a lot of ideas that I had that I tried to make work that didn't work. Because I did something similar a long time ago for another project, but it was only to make a ball bounce off of a square. So I only needed to consider two scenarios for a wall that's 0 degrees and a wall that's 90 degrees. So that was pretty easy, but then I had to figure out a generalized equation for any angle. And then I suppose in the future, when we try to write a physics engine, we have to figure out how to get a 3D angle. I'm trying to think. Do you need? You have in angles. You have the pitch, yaw, and roll. Can you do it with just the pitch and yaw, or do you also need the roll to calculate a 3D angle change based on an
you only
impact?
need 2.
Only 2.
Because, well, so yeah, unless you're accounting for like if the projectile is twisting in place, then you don't really need to consider. Nothing new from Cardiable.
Yeah, we'll need to get our COVID. We'll need to get our boosters.
So what do you plan to do with this game next? Like, you gonna do multiple hits or multiple
There's
enemies?
stuff I need to add to it. I want to do like a little laser pointer that at least shows from you to the wall where you're going to hit, as like when you hold the mouse down and then you release to shoot it.
Okay.
And oh, that one spawned closer to me than I expected. Maybe I should increase the distance. And I want to make like more interesting models for it, or more likely just download them from the Unity store or whatever. And what else? I'll make him more like a platformer maybe. I'm thinking of making him able to
You should
jump.
incentivize not camping out in one area, because that does seem to be a good
Oh,
strategy.
I might change their movement pattern to try to come towards you, because right now it's basically random.
Yeah.
They bounce off of walls, and then whenever they hit a wall, whenever they
Yeah,
hit
so
a,
they just sort of Roomba around.
yeah, pretty much. I think it follows a similar thing, except they don't track uh, traveled area. Um, they hit a surface, and then they go anywhere within 90 degrees of the normal of the surface that they hit.
Okay.
So they're not just bouncing, they just move randomly whenever they hit a wall.
You just pick a new direction.
Yeah. I was thinking it might be sufficient to make a equation similar to that, except they figure out they choose a random angle, and then they decide which direction. Like if it hits a wall and it chooses 45 degrees, it says, do I want to go 45 this way or this way? And whichever one would place them closer to the player is the one that they pick. And so they'll slowly, just by kind of by randomness, they'll slowly start inching their way closer to the player. Oh, so I often get killed because I am in an open space and not watching my back, and they sneak up on me. I was maybe going to have a variety of different enemies as well. And what else? Oh, make some kind of add like a little effect add some effects to the frisbee. Have a little maybe a little bounce things when it bounces off walls. Maybe an explosion when it hits something, and when it despawns. Probably something for their bullets as well. Have like a little trail that follows it and stuff like that. You can just cheat as well. I think I like to use the bouncing feature a lot, but I think maybe a random person who just picked up this game would probably just try to shoot them and dodge. Just do that.
You could make it so you have to use the bouncing.
Oh, it doesn't kill them until its second bounce?
Or, I mean, you create a situation where you have, like, if they see you, they instantly get you, so you have to be around the corner and get them.
They just shoot lasers at you constantly? That'd make it pretty hard.
Well, maybe it's like a static enemy that just, he spawns in place, in a specific place. But
That would be a good enemy for it. Yeah, just have a static turret enemy. That's a really good idea, thank you.
I mean, you might have to tweak the idea a little bit.
He sits in place, and he has a laser that's always shooting at you. Yeah, so if he comes within...
Maybe not instantaneously, but, like...
Oh, really
he
fast?
definitely won't win, yeah.
Okay. So it has a really fast bullet that he shoots at you. To where, like, just peeking the corner isn't a good strategy. Fast enough
Yeah.
that he can hit you just from peeking the corner.
Yeah, boy.
Oh yeah, so the Twitter thing. Um,
Yep.
they. Okay, yeah, we were talking about Kanye and Trump, but we didn't really talk about Twitter. Uh, we made a Twitter, by the way. It's in the. Oh, I didn't put it in the description. Well, I don't know if I will. Um, there is a official Shortbus Twitter, blue check verified now. Just kidding.
Is it
It's not.
blue?
No, it's not.
Oh.
Can you still pay for it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if
He
you.
wants to get away from the advertiser model, so anyone can get a blue check.
I think he said that they were going to look at remaking that, but I guess maybe it's still there for the time being. Um,
Well, he might not get government bailouts like the previous
like Twitter did
so
previously. I'm sure he
yeah.
won't.
Twitter,
Well,
like
he
everyone's
can.
like, oh, Twitter's burning money under Elon Musk. It's like it was burning money under the previous
Dang
administration
it.
too. So
Uh,
I mean, I don't.
he could prop it up himself out of his own pocket. I'm sure he doesn't want to, but
Yeah,
I think no. He seems to have a good thing going. Twitter, uh, I believe, more has gotten a lot more people on it since he took over. Um, and he could probably he has enough of a user base. I'm sure he could think of ways to make money off of it. I'm sure he's already made a ton of money off of the blue check thing. Um, there's millions, billions, at least hundreds of millions of people on there
yeah.
already. Um, so
Make your own Twitter.
just make your own Twitter. Yeah, I doubt Twitter is going to go under. Um, but
Well, even if it does, it's not that big of a loss.
I mean,
And look, I'm not really one that worships Elon. I mean, everyone is fallible, and he seems to have a bit of a history of sexual degeneracy. So he's not.
Elon.
Yeah.
Oh, what's he done? Oh, thank you.
I guess there's this thing where he propositioned a hostess on his private plane or something like that.
Oh, okay, whatever. That's typical. That's pretty tame for a billionaire. If he hasn't done anything worse than that, I'll be amazed.
Yeah. Well, it seems like anyone with
Any rich
more
and
money,
powerful man is pretty much
yeah,
always a womanizer.
like
There are
any
very rare
musician
exceptions.
or
Yeah,
actor.
if you canceled every musician who's messed around with 15 or 16-year-old girls, there would be like none left. It's so many of them. Anyway, yeah. So what's happening now is he's allowing almost all banned accounts to come back. I don't know if they have to go through some kind of process for it, but I don't know if Alex Jones was included
He's
in
not.
that. No.
He specifically said he wouldn't do Alex Jones. He actually gave the reason. He said,
Because
"I
of my
felt
children. Because of my children.
my firstborn child died
Yeah.
in my arms. I felt his last
My
heartbeat."
kids, baby. What about my kids?
Yeah. So Alex Jones will have to pay back more money than Germany for the Holocaust. To these.
Elon Musk said that?
No, but that's just what's happening in
Oh, okay.
the courts. It's like he has to pay more reparations than Germany.
Oh, well, that was a long time ago, though. I'm sure if it happened today, it'd be more than that.
Yeah, probably. Still, though.
Maybe I need a
$3
fourth
trillion.
What Germany is that? What Germany paid?
No, that's how much Alex Jones is being fined for.
You mean billion?
No.
What? Someone's. Oh, is there another court case now?
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah, they really want to make a point of it. Don't question our totally real school shootings.
Yeah. I'm surprised no higher courts are intervening in this.
Oh, you
It's
are?
like,
Are you?
well, I don't know. It seems like something you could escalate. It's like a fine of
Oh, I'm sure he's trying. I'm sure
over $1
he's.
billion seems a little bit high for an individual, but
I'm sure he's trying to appeal it, but who knows what'll happen. Like $1
yeah.
billion is more than he was actually worth. I'm pretty sure.
I think, I don't know, they seem more mad at him than the actual shooter.
Well, the shooter was probably one of their agents.
Don't say that, you'll be sued.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of. I've come to peace with the idea of being assassinated in the future. In fact, it's not a terrible way to die. You can go. You can say, "Yeah, I pissed
Getting
off rich and powerful people so badly that they had me killed."
get Fred pilled.
Fred pilled.
Fred pilled.
What's Fred?
I don't know.
Fred the YouTuber. That old YouTube.
Hey, it's Fred.
Hey, it's Fred.
It's
Fred.
weird because
Fred
like you
got red
can
pilled.
pitch his voice down, and then that supposedly his real voice.
What if Fred got
Actually,
red
he
pilled?
got like a Nickelodeon show, didn't he?
Did he? Oh,
Yeah, I think so.
did that one guy diddle him?
Probably.
Take feet pics, lick his feet. Uh, whatever his name
What's
was.
it called? Lucas Cruikshank?
No, it was some, one of those names that ended with Stein, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. No, that's Fred's real name is Lucas.
Oh, the guy on Nickelodeon is who I'm talking about.
Carly.
We should switch to
Dan
your-
Schneider. Yes, Dan Schneider.
Dan
There's what I'm
Schneider.
thinking.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So weird. Their names seem to have a pattern to them. These high-profile media people who get widely accused of sexual misconduct. What could it
Switching
be?
to my game?
Yeah, we should switch to your game. After I die one
playing
more
the-
time. Oh, I just died. Okay.
Kitty cat game. I want to play the kitty cat game.
I want to play the kitty game.
Father.
Maid, bring me my kitty game.
Wake up! Oh, shake up! Wake up!
Okay.
You wanted to! Okay. Playing Stray, because
I need to play
it
this
looks
game.
cute.
I need to play the cat game.
I'm playing it because it's cute looking and I like cute things.
Everybody likes cute things. Having cute girls in it is a perfectly good reason to watch it.
Exactly.
But then if you watch
Hey,
it and
Owen.
it sucks. If you watch it and it sucks, then you can stop watching it. But you can...
That's how I feel about Dragon Maid, because I actually like the premise of Dragon Maid, but the show sucks.
I saw some scenes from it and it looked stupid, so I didn't watch it.
I watched a little bit, but I couldn't continue.
Even though I used Yui from K-On! For all of my avatars for a while, I never actually finished K-On!
Really?
Did you ever finish it?
I got to season 2, episode 2, maybe, and then
Remember when we were watching
Stopped.
it together a little bit, like 4 or 5 years ago, remember? You still there?
Meow.
I can't hear you.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh-oh.
can't.
His audio's broken.
Oh dear. Crap.
Did the game break your audio?
Probably. How's that? Shit. Um,
Okay, while he's figuring out his audio. Um, oh, hold on. Hold on. Say something again. I think.
ah.
Oh, for some reason my computer decided to mute itself randomly.
Oh.
I think Windows is the the Illuminati in Microsoft. Bill Gates just decided to shut off my audio remotely to mess with us.
Yeah. He's not the CEO anymore, though.
Oh yeah, well
It's
he's
some
still
Indian guy.
he's still a globalist bureaucrat.
Yeah, he is. And for that he shall die. No, just kidding. He'll make lots of money, actually.
Yeah. Oh, we should come back to that. But okay, so Twitter is mostly allowing banned accounts to come back. You're prompting the cat to scratch the tree?
Yeah, I
Be
don't
a
know if that
cat
does anything,
in
but
over 20 different cat scenarios.
this is gaming.
His
This
peak
is real gaming.
his peak
Look at
video games right
that.
here. Are you in a post-apocalyptic society?
Yeah,
Oh, that's kind of cool.
and I can meow and jump.
Cardio Bull says I don't like anime. Feels mentally overwhelming. Makes me think too much. What kind of shows do you like? Maybe Family Guy, where you can just turn your brain off and stare pasty-eyed at the screen for 25 minutes.
That's
I
what I like.
generally like anime more than Western stuff because it feels like it has a lot more artistic soul in it. Western stuff is all like ironic and soulless and like shows the worst that life and people have to offer in most of them. Um, but oh yeah, okay. My audio randomly decided to screw itself. Uh, did you ever finish K-On?
No, I got to season 2, episode 3-ish, and
I got
then couldn't take any more.
I got maybe halfway through season 2. It was a little too long. As every episode is just like, oh, what are the cute girls going to do today? Uh, I mean, the animation and the characters and I don't know, everything about the production is really good, but the story is just so boring. There's nothing there's nothing engaging about the story. And I've never liked shows as much that have an episode to episode plot. I like there to be progression, an overarching progression that's focused on most of the time, or at least
Yeah.
partly.
Well, it's an interpretation of the manga, which is like, I don't know, it's sort of like Pop Team Epic, isn't it? Where it's
like 4 panel stuff.
yeah, that sort of thing.
You could fall and die.
Yeah.
Do we have to watch a cat fall and die if you mess up one of these parts?
No.
I'm afraid of heights, so seeing this kind of thing makes my heart beat a little bit. Oh my gosh. Ah!
This game would be a lot scarier
I don't want
in
that.
VR.
I don't want that. Okay, good. He's okay.
Yeah.
That was
My
way too
character
scary.
does.
I don't want to
I don't
watch a cat die on screen. I hope that it just doesn't show it if you fall from a high building or something.
Well, I've been on 4chan long enough to see
Oh yeah.
people and animals die from that. So
I
he's limping.
would be more. Oh yeah. I am more upset by videos of a cute animal dying than a person in most cases. Maybe if it's a kid, probably less. A kid or a young teenager. But, I mean, um, seeing like the wrecked threads on slash b didn't bother me nearly as much as like the videos of like somebody torturing an animal or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty bad stuff.
It's horrible. Yeah,
I think the worst one I saw was
wor-
like it was security footage of a lathe accident,
oh my gosh,
which
that
like
sounds the worst.
I know what lathes can do, so it was like I know conceptually what they could do, but seeing it was so much worse because like it flung him around and then like flung the parts. So
Oh my
that was
gosh.
pretty bad.
Oh, so it was a big lathe
Yeah, like
for
something for a machine shop is a
okay,
machine shop, right?
okay.
Because hopefully a smaller one would just tear your arm off or something. Hopefully, but
eh.
which I mean, you still might die from that.
Well, the ones in like that. Remember that class in middle school where we kind of became
Yeah,
friends? Uh, that if you got your hand on that, it would probably just like tear your fingers off. Probably wouldn't even be strong enough to pull your arm off. That was just for
yeah,
like little pieces of wood, though. If you're talking about like big metal pieces, then obviously, yeah, that's has enough has a strong enough engine to tear your body to pieces.
yeah. Well, only the finest of snuff
Oh yeah,
on slash B.
um, that reminded me. I was talking to someone um, earlier this week. I think. What are those things that keep rolling around? Are those animals?
I don't know. They look like head crabs to me, but they have an eye.
They looked like some kind of robot. Is that a dog or a horse? Oh, it might be a deer. Is that a corpse of a deer next to you? Oh, it's a
That's a
robot.
robot.
Oh, so this is the future. Okay. Um, Someone was talking about some movie, um, and I really try to avoid gore and rape in movies. Rape scenes in particular bother me in movies. I first when I was like 13 or 14, I saw this movie called In Hell. That one martial arts guy Von Damme was in, and he's in prison in Russia, and there are several rape scenes, and it was like it like wouldn't leave my mind for about a month or two. I was really upset by that. But when I was younger, like a teenager, in like my late teens when we were first on 4chan a lot, um, I guess I think young guys especially have a draw to um,
Violence.
purposely engage in content like that just to feel like you're tough enough to take it, like oh like I want to prove to myself or to other people that like I can watch this and have it not bother me. So you intentionally gravitate towards it. That's probably why they have those like wrecked threads, as guys get too far along in that and they keep looking for higher and higher stimulus. Not really that, probably not that you enjoy it per se. You know, might also be an argument to like, if you ever heard Alan Watts talk about endless pursuit of pleasure, how uh,
Mm, no.
they like
I,
in Rome, for example, in the Colosseum, they would have. I mean, the Colosseum was horrible just on its own. They would watch like prisoners try to fight wild animals and stuff, and they'd either kill the animal or the animal would rip them up and eat them in front of a crowd of people. And they would also just do stuff like they would bring in a bunch of pretty girls and have them all dressed up, and then they'd just send them into the Colosseum unarmed and send in like tigers and lions and stuff to tear them up and eat them in front of people, and that was their entertainment. And it was he said it was because Rome was so degenerate and had cared about exclusively carnal pleasure for so long that they started pursuing pain in lieu of pleasure, and that's something that can happen to people. Just when you only seek for stimulus, eventually you burn out your you burn
Dopamine receptors.
yeah, your dopamine receptors, or your tolerance for stimulus. Oh yeah, there's little robot things, and you start needing a higher and higher shock just to feel something. So that's that's the uh, that's the long game, or that's the final stage of a life of pursuing only pleasure.
Hmm. Well, that's where we're going in society. Feels like, at least.
Oh yeah, so I was
Maybe
saying,
we won't do coliseums. I don't know.
I'm sure we would
Although,
do. There are things like it. Have you ever heard of red rooms on the dark web?
yeah,
Yeah,
I know about red rooms.
yeah, that's what people do. If you're so degenerate and unfeeling that's then eventually things like that appeal to you, just to you engage with it. I don't know, just to prove to yourself. I don't know what the psychology is to it. I can kind of understand it in my mind because I used to do it myself when I was 17, 18. I finally had a change of heart. Did I ever tell you about this? This is kind of embarrassing, but one time on Slash Mew they linked this music video of some death metal band. Oh, those are organic. Yeah, they're kind of like head crabs. I don't want to see
Ooh,
them eat the cat.
they're too slow. They're like ticks.
I can't concentrate while this is going.
Yeah,
Get away from the cat. I'd feel more motivated to not die in this game because I don't want to see the cat die.
I watch TF2 and watch people get blown apart, and then.
And you don't care yet. I
Although
remember
that's a little different because
TF2 is more
it's
cartoony,
cartoony. Yeah.
but it did bother me a bit when we were kids. When we were like 13 and we were at our friend's house, you know the one, uh,
Hmm.
and he was playing TF2 on his Xbox, and like someone would get shot with a rocket launcher and their arms would fly all over the place. That bothered me when I was 13 or 14, and obviously I don't even think about I don't even notice it hardly anymore. Um, anyway, the story I was going to tell. There was this death metal music video. I won't say what it was because I don't want to promote them, but it's a video of a guy like torturing these people in his basement. It's fake, of course, but it looks real. It's made to look real. Um, and I got a minute or two into it, and I knew I should stop, but I kept going, and suddenly I was on the floor of my dorm room. This was when I first started college. I was suddenly laying on the floor of my dorm room next to my chair. I passed out because of the video. um,
I don't think I've ever passed out from anything. Like, I mean, I've like the closest thing is like when I've gone to the dentist and they put you under
um,
because
I've passed out and I got knocked out one time as well by a
Karate?
no, not karate. From a piece of metal hitting me in this big moving machine. I shouldn't say what the machine is because it has a geographic specificness to it, but
Oh,
a large metal machine hit me in the back of the head and knocked me out for about 30 seconds or a minute or so. And I also passed out one time when I was sitting in a chair for a few hours with my laptop on my lap, and I stood up too quickly. Um,
hmm.
so a couple times. I've abused my body so much. Not in the ways that people typically do, but I like get hurt all the time. I have all these bruises and like I just randomly have scrapes and scars all over my body from random things. I don't even remember what they're from.
From punching.
From being too intense. The world, I'm just too intense for my body. My body's not tough enough to handle my lifestyle.
Getting in bar fights.
Uh,
No, I don't know.
no, I just random shit. I, I, I do random stupid things and bump my arms and legs against stuff all the time. Um, anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, okay. Uh,
Cat's got a bad track record.
so after that, I kind of realized that that was probably a thing that I shouldn't have done. And I started thinking a lot more about like why I was doing that kind of thing. And I realized that myself and a lot of my friends that age were drawn to that kind of thing because it gave us a feeling of strength. But it's not really strength because numbness and strength are very different things. Being strong means you can handle something that's difficult, and I think you build strength by doing things that are by doing good things that are uncomfortable to you. Um, but numbness is a removal of feeling that is supposed to be there, and it's not the same as strength. You can be numb and still be a weak person. It just means that you don't have the emotional reaction to things that you're supposed to have an emotional reaction to. There's no real value to it. It doesn't help you.
Like porn numbs your ability to find other people attractive.
Does it? Is that one of the
Yes.
problems that it causes? I know it's correlated with erectile dysfunction, and a lot of times they don't feel stimulus from a real person anymore. You
That's really
have to be
foreign to me.
have to watch a screen instead of seeing a real person, which you're definitely in too deep if you're at that point. um, yeah, I've heard interesting stuff about when people quit porn. They talk about how I've heard guys say like they start feeling emotions from normal things again, like seeing a sunrise or like watching a sad movie, um, when they hadn't previously.
Hmm. I've watched so much porn that my firstborn son, when he was born, I felt nothing. I only thought about cooming.
As I held my firstborn child and looked into his eyes, I just thought about how I couldn't wait to
To
go
get back
to
on
go
Reddit.
home and get back on Reddit. Yeah. Um, that's funny.
That's good.
That's a good game feature. I could spend a half hour just doing this. Um, well, I don't know if you have anything more to say about that. I was looking back at the notes and I realized we were talking about Twitter and free speech and stuff, and we got off on random tangents and lost our train of thought, as we often do.
Yeah.
Ah,
I don't know. I don't think much has happened this
um,
week.
well, Kanye was put back on Twitter, and the first thing he said was "shalom" and a smiley face.
Oh yeah.
So that's
So
that's pretty funny.
we were gonna talk about the well, I saw Styx was talking about the Beyond Meat factory being full of mold,
Oh, okay, we can
and
do
it's
that.
not surprising to me because if you remember back, so Beyond Meat's like a new player in the fake meat world, which
Okay.
not to okay. So like there are people who can't eat meat, so I mean I do see there's like a need for this. I mean it's I make fun of vegans and vegetarians a lot, but there are people who can't eat meat by choice, like, and it's not their choice, like they can't eat animal protein or whatever, right?
Okay.
There are conditions where animal protein will fuck with your liver
But ninety
and kill
percent
you,
of the
whatever.
time, it's just because they're a vegan idiot.
Yeah. um
They say stupid things about how vegan food is actually better for you.
yeah. So basically this factory was this packing plant was full of black mold, which is not healthy to eat. um it can cause health problems to consume mold and to breathe it, that sort of thing. But if you remember a while back, there's another brand that makes vegetarian meat called Morningstar, and I believe they were audited or something. Like basically, they found human DNA in their fake meat. So it could have been hair, it could have been blood, whatever. Could have been a finger that got cut off and got caught in the
Okay.
machinery. But I mean, this stuff probably happens with regular butcher shops and meat all the time anyway.
What did
But
you put
and
into that? Oh, robot piece. Okay.
it's a drone. Yeah, I mean, maybe this stuff happens all the times in butcher shops, and it's just like expected, and it's seen as normal. But who knows? It would be nicer if we had better food regulation in the United States. That is something that I think Europe does better.
Mm.
Because, like Taco Bell meat, that shit's not meat. It's like sand.
Number 14, Taco Bell tacos. If you eat a Taco Bell taco, you're actually eating an employee of Taco Bell.
You're eating sand and
Mixed with
ground up employees.
sand and corn syrup. If you
I
ever
won't
go.
lie. This game is definitely me. That cat is me. Hashtag relatable.
This cat is literally me. Um,
Where'd he go?
some people claim that I've heard people claim that some types of mold are good for you, and I've heard some people say that like their parent made them eat mold at some point because they thought that it was good.
They make you eat mold?
Somebody said that.
Not like fungus, like mold that grows on.
Mold, yeah.
Okay.
Like moldy bread. They thought that moldy bread was healthy.
Hmm.
Just
Is-
read some
well,
crackpot science article about it or something, and then made
I
their kids do
guess
that.
penicillin comes from mold, but
Just eat the
I don't
mold.
know.
It's free penicillin.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I mean, you have to cook the mold. But yeah.
you get a jacket thing?
Yes.
That's
Oh, he
interesting.
doesn't like it.
I definitely should get this game. How much does it cost?
It's like $25 right
Oh,
now.
okay. Wait, how much is it normally?
30.
Oh, okay. That's not much.
It's not that great. I
Maybe
did
they'll
get Portal 2, so we can play that.
maybe they'll do a better Christmas sale. Okay, let's do Portal 2 next week. Also, someone suggested um, Left 4 Dead, but you need 4 people. Well, you want 4 people, so we need 2 more people for it, and I didn't get any volunteers yet. So we need
Hmm.
we need volunteers if we're gonna do that. Oh, speaking of which, someone sent me a friend request on Steam a few minutes ago. I don't know if that's somebody who's watching. My Steam account is supposedly you shouldn't be able to find it from the YouTube anymore, so I don't know how you found it, but
It
if
could just be random, though, you know.
oh maybe. Um, but if people want to join us for Left 4 Dead, um, or whatever, just DM me your Steam name, and I'll add you if you're somebody who I know.
You're in the circle of
You
trust.
get to be in my inner circle. You get to be one of the special needs people.
Special needs students. Forgot what I'm supposed to do. Oh,
You're supposed to go find the mouse and kill it. That's what I want. I want a video game where I'm a cat and I kill as many mice as I can.
that'd be a good game.
That's actually not a terrible idea. I'm gonna write
I
that
think
down.
I think a lot of games are designed to like play off of our instincts, what we like, right? So
I suppose video games are geared towards achieving some kind of objective or defeating some kind of opponent, which is probably why it mostly appeals to young men.
yeah. I mean, girls like games, but they're story or puzzle games. So
That's right.
most of the time,
Everyone's mom plays Candy Crush. My
Candy
my
Crush.
mom my mom loves that game, so she fits right into that stereotype. So I don't want to hear anybody telling me, "Oh, it's just a stereotype." They're often based in reality. I don't know. Games have. I think the reason you would keep playing a game is once you have done it enough that it has an addictive element to it. So there have been some really stupid games that I just started playing habitually, like on my phone, that I don't know, just because I had done it enough, then it would become sort of fun to me, or I would just do it to pass time.
Hmm.
Maybe there's something to be said about RuneScape in that regard. We should do RuneScape again sometime.
Ooh, there's some cancer.
Ah, crap. I don't want that. Oh, are those what caused the apocalypse? They totally ripped off
Um.
Half-Life. Like those are pretty much just head crabs. They look very slightly
Oh.
different.
Hmm. Where do I go?
They move the same as head crabs as well. Is this supposed to be in the Half-Life universe? Oh, run, jump. Go up.
Go up where?
I don't know. I think you're supposed to jump onto one of those. Uh, yeah, that pipe. Jump up onto that pipe
Pipe.
right there.
Oh. Cool, cool.
They pretty much just
There's a
ripped off
guy.
Half-Life. Or Half-Life 2. Oh, robot. It's afraid of you?
Hmm.
That's interesting.
Hey,
Oh,
I
he
wanted to go
he
there.
closed the baby gate on you. Andrew says I got hooked on RuneScape for a week after the Halloween stream.
uh,
I'm trying to
well,
get
a
Jeff to
lot of
keep
games
doing it.
are designed to be addictive, so they'll feed you rewards, the little level up rewards.
I'll probably start doing it regularly again once I have more time. Um, I don't know. I really like it. Part of it's just that I've done it a lot, and so now it's fun to me. But
Well, a lot of
there's a certain
well,
appeal
games
to it
like
as well.
this, you do need to limit yourself too, because I mean, there was that woman neglected feeding her child or whatever, or like she shook her kid because she was busy playing Facebook games, like Farmville or whatever it was.
I didn't know about that. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, she shook her baby to death so she could get back to
She could get
her
back to Farmville.
Facebook game. Yeah.
I read that long copy pasta about the fat girl that which he posts stuff from Slash Fit a lot. These long fat hate copy pasta or not copy pasta, just a green text story. Was from Slash Fit, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this poor girl. Well, it is her side of the story. You have to be aware it's her side of the story. Plus, it's a woman, and they often embellish their stories emotionally a little bit. But uh, she, yeah, I read that, and it was horrible. Just trying to get her fat friend to go to the gym to her and to go to the gym with her, and she's sitting there on RuneScape. Can you imagine? They're like you go to someone's house and they're already late for whatever you're doing, and they're like, "Oh, just a second," and then they sit and like continue playing their video game for like a half hour. I would have left.
I mean, I know people like that, but they have like ADHD, that sort of thing. So
I have ADHD. I would never do something so inconsiderate and ridiculous. Like you'd have to have no shame. Your friend is sitting right there waiting for you, and you're not. You're sitting there not noticing the gravity of or the um the error of the situation. I guess. Like, oh, I just can't leave. I have to do this video game.
well, this guy has to be medicated in order to operate. So you've met him, but
Uh, yeah, you'll have to tell me later. I mean,
yeah.
mine is pretty bad. I don't know. I think some people just kind of let themselves go, both physically and mentally, and then they no longer have a concept of normalcy in their life, and act toxic and inconsiderate to people around them. Like I'll have to post this. I'll post this in the Discord so people can see what I'm talking about. Here, I can go grab it right now, actually. But um, the if you have a friend and they're acting this like toxic and self-involved and completely lacking any self-awareness, I think that friend actually, I know I say this all the time, but exhibits traits of narcissism. um, and if you have somebody like that, just ghost him and never talk to him again. So there's really no helping them, and they'll just keep feeding off of your goodwill as much as possible and acting like. And anytime you have any kind of disagreement or don't do whatever they want, they'll act like you're bullying them or abusing them or whatever.
Hmm. Yeah.
Here, I'll post it. I'll post it in the meme thing. Yeah, if you've ever got a friend like that, just ghost him and don't ever talk to him again. We need IRL skill
Yeah.
progression bars when we get AR headsets. People will get addicted to doing things that will be helpful. That'd be interesting. If you're, as you're, it'll like count the hours that you're spending, like, I don't know, coding or something,
Being a burger flipper,
or
where
flipping
the mic
burgers.
headset, the mic
Or what
glass.
else? Like practicing an instrument, and after you're when you're at like 1 hour, you get to level 2, and when you're at 5 hours, you get to level 3. Like, hey, what's your guitar level? I'm a level 50 guitarist. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but then you'll see a level 50 guitarist and he still sucks. It's like, oh,
That would, yeah, it would be different from an MMO where not everybody gets the same uh, result from the same amount of practice. Oh, those are people. Does he
yes.
have
I
a
don't know if
robot?
this is like an allegory for like how cats can see our expressions but can't understand us.
Are they cyborgs?
I think they're just robots. They kind of got that
But he
like
has a wait.
Apple Macintosh face.
Go closer to his leg. I thought he had a human leg. Oh no, never mind. He's a robot. Never mind.
This is me.
He needs to get good at algorithms and data structures. I don't know if that's like everybody talks about that class in particular. Um, that's one of the earlier classes in the CS degree, at least at the.
Is it like fundamental to? Because I don't think it is to being a coder or programmer. Because I can
Um,
see how like statics is
to
fundamental to being in a
well
engineering job,
to
but
school, it's earlier in the program.
yeah,
I don't know if you would need most of the stuff. Like at most coding jobs, I don't know if you would ever need to know how to make a linked list. Depending what your job is. Obviously, if you're a front end developer, then you'd never need to. But um,
if you're a front end developer, you just need your pack of crayons
you
and
just need
some paper.
you just need
Not to disparage front end developers, but
not to make fun
it's
of
not
front
quite
end
the same.
developers, but if you are a front end developer, the only thing you need is your binky and your little rattler toy. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, doing stuff with pointers, like doing a linked list, or knowing how to make like a directed graph, um, you wouldn't need for most jobs unless you're doing something particularly back end or scientific. Um, there are things you want to know for interviews, stuff.
That's really
Yes,
what it's
that
for.
kind of thing. That kind of thing. Patterns of software design is another thing. Um, like stuff like the singleton pattern, uh, or the designer pattern. Things that they that's cool. Things that they might ask you about. Um, but in the actual degree data in the two schools that I did it at, because I was in school at I was at a different
Don't
college.
say.
Yeah, I won't say, but I was at a different college a few hours away from here, um, and I did.
Accidentally say our real names too.
Oh yeah, we might accidentally say one of our real names one of these times. uh,
It's not sure, Lloyd. I'd like
I
to sing
sing
for them.
Charlotte.
Sorry, go on.
Um, my name is not Christian Chandler, just so you guys know. Uh, uh, Data structures and algorithms. That's like, okay, so I did it once at another school and I failed it and I dropped out. That was the semester that I dropped out. It wasn't just because of that though. There were a whole bunch of other factors, like my mental health mostly. Um, and I got back. I started school again at a different school, the one I am at now, and I did fine in that class. It was moderately difficult, but there were way harder ones. Like I did this advanced C++ class a couple years ago. Do you remember when I was in that class and I would like stay up? I stayed up all night working on projects a couple times.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that one was a living hell. That was the hardest class I've ever done. And this summer I was in this class. Um, was like applied calculus to programming. Um, it was like how it was kind of fringe calculus concepts. It was mostly math, and it was like how to approximate integrals with this recursive algorithm.
Oh, I've done something like that.
Yeah, it was focused
Except I
on
think
that.
it focused on MATLAB. Did you use MATLAB?
Yeah, we did use MATLAB.
Oh, interesting.
I wonder if we did similar stuff. Math doesn't. Programming comes a little easier to me than math, so I'm used to being lazy and being able to get away with it. I'm not terrible at math. I think I'm probably better than the average person at least, but it doesn't come to me as easy as other stuff. So that class was particularly hard. Um, yeah, we did that, and the problem with that class as well is it covered a whole bunch of different subjects, all squeezed into one semester. Like in that same semester, we did stuff like rounding error in
Oh,
floating
yeah.
point. Oh, you remember? Yeah, I was trying to ask.
Yeah, you asked my dad
Yeah, I
about
asked
it,
your
and
dad
he's
about
like,
it,
"Oh,
and
I
he
just used the
he was like, "Oh, I
the
just
floor
used
function."
I just used this program, or I used this method to solve that." Like,
Yeah.
okay, that's not really what I needed, but he it was nice that he tried to help me though. But uh, yeah, that was really hard. I'm in a somewhat difficult class right now. I'm almost done with school, and I'm in the first half of my capstone right now, and I have to, for the last kind of final boss class that we have to do is compilers, where you write a compiler for a make believe programming language. I think a lot of schools do something similar, um, and the class I'm in right now is like the first half of that, where I write a assembler and VM, which I'll later use to write the compiler.
Hmm.
What were we talking about
So
before
it's
that?
not a. I thought it's sort of like you made your own language, or the school made their own language, and maybe it's not optimized, but like you get to work around it or something.
Um, well, it is the class has a language, yeah. The school class has they create this made up language, and then you write the compiler for it.
But does it make real programs once you compile them?
Oh, an executable? No,
Yeah.
that's why you write the VM, because the VM interprets the assembly code that you create, or the binary code that you create.
Oh,
It
okay.
is creating real binary code, and it's the assembly in binary is basically the same as what a normal computer would use, but it isn't made in a way that like Windows could, or that like typical hardware would be able to interpret it. That would be a lot harder. You'd have to go through all of
Well, I don't know what I don't know, so
to write. Well, I mean, you'd have to. There's a whole bunch of stuff you'd have to do first before you could do the simple things they have us do, like write uh, assembly code to print "Hello World," and then you have, and then it the assembler interprets the assembly code and turns it into binary. Oh, damn. There goes your paint. And then the VM interprets the binary. Whereas to do that in on a computer on a norm to have like a executable do that, you'd have to jump through all of the like standards, the IEEE standard stuff that, or wait, no, that might be internet. Anyway, there would be a bunch of other lower things that you would have to take care of before you could even have a program that would be doing that could do that kind of thing.
There's so much built up that it's like a daunting task to even consider that sort of thing.
Oh, trying to imagine
Like
trying to
you know,
make a
the doomsday scenario, and or maybe it's like, oh, you're teleported to a new world, isekai style. Can you make a computer from scratch?
oh,
Most
I thought you
people,
were
I
talking
assume,
about the
not.
video game at first. Yeah, trying to imagine trying to make your own operating system from scratch. You'd have to be the smartest programmer who had ever lived.
Robot oil.
Yeah, it'd be a while probably. Well, depending on what people you had to build a computer from scratch. So there are a bunch of like factories that have to refine the materials that you need in the first place. And
Yeah. Well, consider you had transistors,
really small
and
chips are mostly constructed by robots as well. Like a person wouldn't be able to do it by hand anymore.
no, it's like 5 nanometers at this point or less, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought they said the limit was like 15 nanometers, but keep going smaller.
Oh,
You know, I
there are all these arbitrary like ideas that they had. Like Bill Gates at some point said you'd never need more than what was it, a megabyte or 100 kilobytes or something like that.
yeah, something. I
Of,
mean, we make fun of him for that, but I mean, at
I
some
mean,
point,
he was a very smart guy though.
for what he
So
meant, I mean, I sort of get it, but at the same time, it's like we know that things are just going to progress further. I mean, individual chips aren't getting too much better. Like I remember I had a Sandy Bridge i7 for the longest time, and it really kept up with everything. I didn't even really have to upgrade to what I've got now because it still worked for everything I was doing. You know, the 3D modeling, rendering, all that stuff.
oh, okay. Yeah. I guess now we're just used to the idea that the current state of the art is going to be low grade 10 years from now.
Yeah.
It always just the pattern that repeats itself consistently.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the way it's going to go now is that it's just going to go horizontally rather than up, if that makes sense. So they already started, you know, adding more cores so you can do multiple,
Oh, okay.
you know, processes at once. And in data centers, they're having multiple servers hosting the same thing, doing the same task.
Rather than making faster processors or
Yeah.
better
I
or
mean,
bigger
maybe we'll
processors.
see a quantum computer at some point. I'm not, I mean, I guess theoretically the reason quantum computers would be good is that they work exponentially faster as opposed to the linear speeds that we get out of silicon.
I
So you
don't
add
know
more
a whole
quantum,
lot about them. I know
you
it.
get,
I know it's mostly a
and
buzzword.
yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if it's possible or if it's moreover just like pop sci sort of stuff.
Yeah, who knows? It would be cool. I don't know a whole lot about them though. Maybe at some point.
They don't make sense to me, but maybe they
I expect
can work.
they'll still make faster processors as well, though, along with just adding more cores. I think.
Yeah. I've also, in one of my materials classes, they've considered using something besides silicon that isn't, it's not like quantum, but like there's certain materials that can also work as semiconductors and can either A, handle higher temperatures, or B, just do the computations faster. So, well, I guess temperature is the throttling
That would be
factor.
cool. Imagine in the future they make hardware that doesn't overheat, and we'll be like,
Yeah.
back in my day, I had to open all my windows and we had to pump water through our computer tower, through our gaming battle station. You damn kids don't know what it's like. I'm starting to do Biden. You damn kids
He's the
don't know what
default
it's
old
like
guy voice.
to worry about running 5 games on your computer.
5 games at once. I'm running 2 instances of Fortnite. That would be interesting. You could have one computer run multiple terminals. It's kind of going back to the old like laboratory computers where people would access one computer through multiple computers, which is like that's
Yeah.
what Unix
It'd be
did,
interesting
sort of.
if it'd be more commonplace to have one central kind of supercomputer just in people's homes that everybody else just kind of signs into.
Yeah,
Like
but then
like
there's obvious problems with that where it's like someone's else controlling it.
Yeah.
Which I
Well,
mean, we're
I
headed.
would be opposed to that. Yeah, but Silicon Valley slash the globalists are trying to slowly creep us more towards a like mobile.
You have said a naughty word. Your access to the mainframe has been limited for 5,000,000,000,000 days.
They want us. They really seem to be pushing mobile stuff. This is a very comfy room. I wish that this room was my room. Lots of old computers and lots of books. That's where I want to live. Scratch the couch.
Cat simulator.
This is like the most comfy room possible. I wish I lived in this place. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, they're trying to move us slowly towards a more mobile centric kind of technology world and a very on the cloud kind of thing. Like Windows 10 and 11 try to make you put all of your documents on the OneDrive folders by default. I always say that wrong. By default, they set it all your documents folders and pictures and music to the OneDrive one. It's a huge pain in the ass to make it not do that. So yeah, I think they would definitely try to do that kind of thing. Be in favor of that. Andrew says we should try to use as little resources as possible and follow KISS when creating things. There are people who buy thousands of dollar computers to browse Pinterest.
Yeah, I agree. And I am rooting for.
Oh, do you mean keep it simple, stupid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I assume he means.
Okay.
Not the band KISS. We'll follow KISS.
The band KISS. That's an acronym as well. It means Knights in the Service of Satan.
Really?
Suppose there was a conspiracy theory about that. I kind of believe it though, because Gene Simmons is a horrible person, and all their songs are about casual sex. Sorry, what were you saying?
I don't know. We should wrap this up because
Okay.
I think I'm in a open worldy environment now. So
yeah, we can whenever you want. Should I
we'll just stop now.
Send it back to the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a pretty cool game. I will probably go add that to my wish list, actually.
It's very cute and interesting. I I really like the animations that the little cat has.
Yeah,
I think they're procedural, but
I
it's
like
cool.
how they have realistic cat-like mannerisms as well. Cats are good and robots are good.
Yeah.
We need more of both of those.
Oh yeah.
If you have cats and robots in your life, then you're doing pretty well.
That's right. We need Tesla bots and Tesla cats to send us to Mars. I don't know. Say hello to the monkey from me. Scientist, whatever. I do hope. Oh, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I don't know if you were saying anything,
Oh, okay. You can hear me now,
but
right?
yeah.
Okay. DeSantis?
DeSantis?
Something you were saying something about DeSantis?
No. Well, I do hope that Linux gets to the point where like normies start using
Oh,
it, because even if just so that because Windows is a business first and foremost, so if they're losing money, hopefully they would change. But we've seen very few businesses actually make positive changes in response to
yeah,
losing business. Find some other aspect, but
they never change in positive ways. They don't think about good ways that they can change. They just think about how to suck in more people, and
yep.
they kind of take their user base for granted. Yeah, right
I mean,
right now it is
like
kind of a thing of
Macintosh people are weirdly loyal.
yeah. Everyone with an iPhone has like
Well, they're always complaining about the iPhone,
superiority
but
complex about it.
they're complaining about it, but it's
They're
also
like, "Oh,
superior.
you have an Android. Is that so?"
Yeah, my brother had the Pine phone for a while, but it drove him nuts to the point where he stopped using it, which is too bad. I told him to get Ubuntu Touch. He tried like the one that comes on the Pine phone, Pine 64s, whatever they have, and then he tried the Manjaro one, and like it would fail at basic functionality. So like it would lose contacts. It would certain text messages
Oh,
wouldn't
I
make it
see.
through,
Not just
that sort of
problems
thing.
with apps.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be a pain in the ass. I would like to not have an Android anymore. I would at least need some basic functionality. I need a particular app for my work at the moment, so I can't
Right. Since
gamble
when
too
did
much.
work? Why are they able to demand you have an app on your phone now? It's like
It's a thing for
that's
two-factor
crossing a boundary for
authentication.
me.
There's a one-time password um,
Yeah.
app that I have to use with it. So yeah, that would be a problem. Uh, but I would like, and I don't use my phone very much. I don't like using the phone. Anything I can do on the computer, I'll do it on that instead. Like you can't do any. I always feel really limited using while holding a phone. Is it you have a very limited ability to work with it. You can't really do anything significant on a phone. You can write very slowly. You can use programs that only require basic touch screen functionality. I don't know. It feels like walking with one leg every time you try to do anything of significance on a phone. I avoid it as much as possible. I pretty much only use it for texting and calling.
Yeah, like
Um,
you couldn't write a. I mean, theoretically, you could write a paper using a phone, but
yeah, would anyone do that?
it's painful. Like I'd prefer to have a keyboard.
Writing like a
Um,
whole long document, like a paper for school or work or something, on Google Docs, like on your phone.
I mean, I have done that,
You have?
but it was painful.
That's
Like I was at
horrible.
work and I was like, okay, I gotta get this. I want to get ahead on this. So
There may be some
I'm gonna
people.
write.
It might just be what you use the most, because there are probably some people who can write on their phone faster than they can type on a keyboard. Although that'd be weird, because now they have the same layout, not like old phones.
Yeah.
Andrew asked you something, I assume, about your brother's keyboard case. The keyboard
Yes, he
case.
did have the keyboard case. He's also asking, the year of the Linux desktop is never coming, and does it need to? What would be different? Um,
What would be different?
well, so you don't have Adobe products, which a lot of people use for either their hobby or for their work. Um,
That's the
I
main
mean,
problem, really.
GIMP isn't good enough. I mean, I like GIMP. I think I prefer it to Photoshop, but I do see that it's not as good. It doesn't have like 3D modeling. It doesn't have like the canvas warping stuff. You're missing a lot of the morphing, the swirly tools that people use, I guess.
When I tried to use GIMP, it cost an arm and a leg just to get the right like pen texture. That would follow, like, that was like a circle, and that would follow the pressure. That would resize itself based on pressure properly. That
Yeah, yeah, and
cost
that
an arm
works
and a
out of the
leg just to
box
do
in
that.
Photoshop, right?
Yeah, you'd think that'd be the first thing it should do. Yeah, that's what you run up against often with free and open source stuff. Is you don't have a company that's paying employees to work on it constantly, usually.
Yeah, but my thinking is that if FOSS software was good enough that it started eating into the market of Mac and Windows, is that they would change a little bit at least.
The main reason I would want that is just so they would have less power. Because I mean,
Yeah.
Windows 7 was great. I loved Windows 7. They try to do more. They make it. They add all this stupid hand holding stuff. First of all, add all this bubbly, like, mobile esque stuff. Like when they made Windows 8, they really started trying to do that. Um, they put all of this surveillance stuff on it. They're always putting their tentacles up into your business, putting all of these, like, remotely controlled apps and widgets onto it. Um, it and it's horrible. I don't want other people in my personal space. When I'm on my computer, I want to feel like I'm, you know, out of their, not under their thumb, not with their eye looking down upon me. Of course, I have Windows 10, so I tolerate it to some degree, but
I think that's really what they're banking on, is that people
people just keep doing it regardless.
people people would rather, it's more useful to them than it is their privacy, right?
Yeah.
Which is
And
unfortunate. And
the
a lot of
average
Linux
person,
people are using for ideological reasons,
yeah,
not because it's necessarily a better desktop
yeah,
experience.
yeah. A lot of people don't
Which, I mean,
care.
that isn't, not to invalidate that. I mean, that is a good reason to use
Yeah,
Linux. I mean, you're free to use whatever you want. I mean, don't let me stop you, but
yeah,
the normies aren't gonna flock to Linux
yeah.
unless it's a lot
People, the
better.
average person doesn't care about security and privacy as much as you and I do. And also, it's a pain in the ass. You're used to Windows stuff, and Linux often has problems that you need to be sort of good with computers to solve. Um, so if they had something that was very user friendly, if you had a distro that was very user friendly and was compatible with a lot of programs that most people want, or had a really good equivalent for them, like word processing and photo editing and video editing stuff. I think a lot of people would prefer it to Windows, just to not be under their thumb. I think just from the memes and stuff, it seems to me that more and more people are kind of conscious that, the NSA is always spying on us, and they could come and get into our files anytime they wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, I wouldn't be surprised if there's monitors that just send constant screenshots over whatever Wi-Fi
Hmm.
they can connect to, just to whatever central hub, will,
Yeah, I wouldn't be
and then they'll
surprised at all. I
they'll pay
assume they
for
can.
that.
I assume they can have pretty much anything they want on your computer if you have Windows or Mac OS.
Well, even at the hardware level, like if you're
The
not
hardware.
gonna limit, yeah, like theoretically, you could make a computer monitor that has a radio antenna in it and just sends out whatever screenshot is on the screen, right?
Huh.
Whatever data.
That would be
And
hard to hide though, because software you can kind of keep a secret, but hardware people can open it up and kind of tell what it's doing. Especially if there's like this signal coming from the computer that they don't know what it's doing. Well, I guess it would just send it over Wi-Fi. If the hardware, if just the computer hardware was doing that independent of the operating system, someone would probably find it and would probably blow the whistle about it.
probably.
Okay, you got to go soon.
Yeah.
We ended up going longer than we were expecting to.
Huh.
Thanks
Yeah.
for
That's
watching, guys. Cardio Bowl left and then Andrew arrived. I never see you
huh.
guys in the same place. That's kind of suspicious. Maybe they're the same person.
It's like Trump and Batman. Never seen them in the same place.
That's true. You never do. Okay, see you guys later.
All right. See you.